and hopefully that is okay with everybody. So the structure of how we want to support your customer journey is slightly changing. And what that means is that, that rather than running a delivery briefing and followed by a cooking experience and then leaving it at that for many of you, what we will consider in the future is, I mean, I have done this with quite a few, morning Joe, with quite a few of my customers already, so this may not be new to you, but anyone who has not been on their journey for too long, this is how we like to support you in the future. When you first purchase a Thermomix, there is, of course, I feel it's very, very important that you have your delivery briefing. But what this looks like, it doesn't have to be the vegetable stock. It can be completely something that is supportive of what you need. So it might be just cooking a first dish, or it might be answering some questions, particularly if you've been a previous owner. So that very first initial meeting and get together will be completely tailored to where you are at in your journey. One thing is for sure, we will always go through the safety measures. I will, because that's important to me, very, very important. I have nearly got 600 customers, and I had 3 accidents by customers in 7 years, and they all happened in my first 6 months. And ever since then, I've had no accidents that anyone would have shared with me. So I'm really proud of that. So the other options for you to shape what you might call a virtual cooking experience, a face-to-face cooking experience, or a get-together, an event. It could be that you invite a few people and we do the first cook, and rather than giving you a menu and you choose from the menu, let's cook stuff that is important to you, that you will also cook in the future. So I'm looking at you, Nicole. If you were to have a cooking experience or a get together, I would love to cook stuff that is suiting your health condition. If there is specific needs that you have, this is now the time to actually ask for that support. The other couple of workshops that we like to incorporate in the future a little bit more is the subject of meal planning and the subject of advanced Cookidoo, all coupled, because we've noticed that there is customers who initially start working with Cookidoo and love it and use it, but there is what we call an advanced version. Not everyone gets to get the full extent out of the app, and because there is plenty of stuff always added, I particularly, speaking for myself, like to share what is coming up or what has been added new, and that can always be talked about in an event that you share with your friends or family. And what is absolutely crucial right now, and you will find out very shortly why I'm saying this is crucial, particularly for existing customers, is that we talk about recipe conversions, plainly to help you expand your journey as a customer, and because of the exciting news that are on the way. But I'm going to leave you hanging here for a little bit more, because I'd like to give you a progression. The plan for today is, and now we're getting right into it, I have actually picked a recipe that I have cooked with some of my customers and clients a little while ago, and I have converted that from I think it's a Cole's magazine. And this is about a year old. So I often get asked by people, hey, can you do your own recipes? Can you help me convert a recipe, and so forth? So what I'd like for you to do is sit back, have a cuppa, take it all in, and go. Maybe I know Lindsay and some of you, Julie, some of you will already be totally, Vicky, totally familiar with how you make things work for yourself. For others, who are used to following recipes, this might not quite be as coming as easy to you. So what we've done is we've come up with some basic rules that you might want to write down, or if you like, I can actually put this all together on a sheet of paper, which I already have, and send you a little cheat sheet so that you can help yourself when it comes to it. Does that sound good, Pico? Yeah, good. I will do that. Why don't I do that for all of you? Plainly, so that you can help yourself in the future and just take your own time. I'd really like to get going. So what I will do is I'm going to share the screen, because I'd like for you to be able to follow me with this recipe. Is that okay with you? Rightio. Hopefully this works. Share screen. Can everybody see this nicely? So anyone who knows me, I like fresh food, I like colorful food, I like all that kind of stuff. And this curry just appealed to me plainly because the picture looked so nice. And when I looked at the recipe ingredients, it all made sense to me. And then I looked at the method and I thought, gee, this is so easy to do in the Thermomix. By all means, please, there's someone else coming. By all means, please ask questions, unmute yourself, or use the chat box. I've got Brooke helping me with the chat box in case I miss something. Please bring it. So what I am doing here is the very first thing, if you come across a recipe that you like, you may want to go and look on Cookidoo whether you can find something that is rather similar and then adjust. I am not going to go into this option. I would much rather just give you some hints with regards to how I go about the recipe conversion. I am going to utilize the recipe ingredients and start up, like I start up most recipes, with the herbs and spices. The 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon, that's a tablespoon, of olive oil is a glove. For time-saving reasons and to make it easier, I am going to just use the glove. You can very, very easily use the scales on your TM6 or on your TM5 and weigh in 5 to 10 grams of oil. The next ingredient is my 4 spring onions, coarsely chopped. You see the pieces. And, that all goes in, white and green, because I don't like any waste. Then I have a larger piece of ginger, because I like ginger and I like the flavor of ginger in my curry. And what I will do here is, just like we do in plenty of other recipes, give this 3 seconds on speed 7. Wonderful. Almost like a cooking experience. There we go. I do believe that I only got Thermomix owners here, so you would be familiar with what this looks like. Leaving this for 3 minutes. I'm so used to using this as my go-to. 3 minutes of aroma, speed 1. If you want to take notes, please do. Otherwise, I will actually add this recipe to my notes, and I will also upload this to the recipe community very soon. I would love to hear from you. Who is familiar with the recipe community? Who would like to hear a little bit more about it? Chat.
I'd like to hear some more. I've only just got the Thermo. Mum used it a lot, but I don't know how to find it.
A very good point. So I will do this once I'm finished with the recipe. I'll go a little bit into it. The recipe community is actually the very first official site that was developed when Thermomix first came into Australia. Every country that has got the Thermomix does have a recipe community type of thing, because we first had the manual mode and we never had any of this digital support. So what this recipe community is, it's a free website that anyone can go to. And pretty much when you put this into your search engine, it's the first thing that comes up. Very easy to find. You can register an account there and you can save recipes. You can save your search history, and you can find recipes that people like you and me, consultants, customers, chefs, skinny mixers, and plenty more people have used this platform to upload their recipes over the years. So since over the last 20 years, we're around about 30,000 recipes on that recipe community. The one thing I will have to say is that these recipes are not means tested like the Cookidoo recipes are. Cookidoo recipes are triple tested in the lab before they get uploaded, whereas the recipe community will sometimes have you tweak a recipe so that you will be able to use it for your own purpose. However, the recipe community is often the second go-to place for people who can't find a recipe on a Cookidoo platform. Oh yes, Brooke has put it down. That's awesome. I know the room. Yes. Was that kind of? I'm gonna leave it here. The recipe community is a fantastic place where you can practice uploading your personal recipes once you have done a little bit of practicing, and it's a great place where you can share with the world what you like cooking. So I know that not only consultants like doing this, I know that customers really like doing this too. So with regards to, we've only got a few seconds to go. Moving on to the next part of my recipe. What do you think I'm going to be doing now? Anybody? This has nicely sauteed, and how would you move on? What do you think I'm going to do next? Unmute yourself, that's okay.
I think you'll cook out the curry paste.
Yes. So I could have added the curry paste in the first step if I wanted to speed this up a little bit, but I'm going to add this now. And again, for time reasons, what is it? 3 tablespoons, yes. Made this fresh this morning, and I used a Cookidoo recipe, but I halved it. So this is going to be very rich, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to add another 3 to 5 minutes to cook this out. I'm actually going to add the stock that I've already thinned down with water straight into it. So I'm making this a curry or a dish that I can use Monday to Friday in a working week, because I really am time poor on most of those days. Do you think I want to add anything else? Nothing? We want to bring this up to a nice heat so that it's prepared for the chicken to move in. So I'm going to give this 5 minutes. On 100. Speed 1. And this is really not a must. This is not the rule. This is just what I've tried for myself, and it has worked. If you feel you need to leave this for longer, cook out the flavor a little bit more, that's fine. I actually wanted to, and I would do this in a normal case scenario too. There is a collection on Cookidoo that is dealing with onions. So sauteing the onions on high heat to caramelize them a little bit more. This is something that the TM6 can do. And what I would have done if I had a little bit more time, I would use this function to saute in the first step. But I know that I've got TM5 and perhaps TM31 owners and TM6 owners all in one go. I'm using the ordinary function that everyone has access to. So a high heat function is something that you can isolate out of your recipes and just use when you need to or when you want to. Anyone who is not familiar with the high heat function may have a 31 or a 5. The high heat function is something that was added in the TM6, and the TM6 is able to bring the temperature up to 160 degrees, which means we can sizzle up our meat and our garlic and onion and spices. Yeah, we've got something in the chat box. Beautiful, not at the moment. Ginger. The ginger was already in, Julie. I put the ginger in at the very beginning. Did you say you made the curry paste yourself? Yes, yes, I made the curry paste myself. I used the Cookidoo recipe, yes, and I will share that with you shortly. I will send it to you. Cookidoo curry paste. It's actually a really simple one, so I really like that. What do you think the next step could be? Anyone? I will actually add my mint and the coriander and the peas because they will build my thick soup for the curry. And I will add a little bit more temperature to that before I finish off with the chicken. Does that make sense? So that when the chicken is cooked, it's not spent an awful lot of time in here. It'll be nice and soft and it'll be very, very tender to eat. Yeah. So a couple of things that I just like to add when we're talking about conversion of recipes. You always need to look at your ingredient list. Is it the same as a recipe that you may find on a recipe community or a Cookidoo? Place the recipe somewhat in a bit of an order and look at how you would cook perhaps before your time with a Thermomix. What would you do prior? So if you've got a recipe like this, there are steps like your step 1 and step 2. I have actually not gone away too much from these steps. I'm just using the machine so that I don't have to stand next to the stove, don't I? We want to look at which steps can be skipped in a conversion of a recipe, because sometimes we don't have the need to do 5 or 7 steps when we can put them all into one step, namely the addition of recipe ingredients, or perhaps the milling of cheese that quite often happens at the very end. In the Thermomix recipes, I would often, if I have cheese involved, I would often grate my cheese at the very, very beginning and then add that at the end. A very big rule of thumb when you're doing a recipe conversion is that you might want to look at the recipes that may require the recipe steps that may require you to clean the bowl out. So do that first, then you clean out your bowl once, maybe twice if the recipe is very involved, and then move on and keep adding on, because the idea is that we're saving time, isn't it? So I've got this beautiful smell in the house now. I'm adding about 100 grams of my baby spinach. That's usually about a very large handful. What else will I add? My mint leaves. And I have to share, it's okay to add a little bit more mint because that gives you extra freshness in the curry. And Oh, why not add the coriander as well? So all the flavors will go in here now. Oops. And I give this another 3 minutes. And in those 3 minutes, keep my screen clean. Moving on. One thing that you need to watch, and that's another rule of thumb for recipe conversion, is the quantities that you may build. I've got a few recipes that I'm thinking of for myself where I've converted and I've really had to watch not to overstep the mark on the bowl. So think a little bit more into the quantities. You don't want to produce more than 2.2 liters or more than 2 liters on a 31. The safety guidelines, if you know how to work your Thermomix and if you've had a good delivery briefing, then you would be aware of what not to do. Don't overfill the mark. And yes, when it comes to the functions and the safety in the future, it's probably good to go back to the cheat sheet. And I will also send you the cheat sheet with all the functions and how to keep them in safe use. Why am I talking so much about this safety? It's plainly because I anticipate quite a few of you. Yes, my chicken is going to be added very last. That's the next thing that will be added. In the near future, you will hopefully all be converting recipes a little bit more. A question to you, and I'm hoping that the chat box is going off. Is there a recipe? Are there recipes? Are there collections that are currently not available on Cookidoo, but that you would like to have on Cookidoo so that you can follow in guided cooking? Therma Baxter, yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Oh yes, my favorite muesli bar. Yes, and what collection would that be from? Is that a Thermomix recipe or is it plainly a recipe that you have made up or found somewhere else, Jill? That's a website. Oh yes, Bake, Play and Smile is a very popular one, particularly for young mothers. Yes. Edna's Tea Cake. Edna's Tea Cake will be coming onto Cookidoo. It's currently part of the 20 years of Thermomix collection that came out as a book. Yes, and I was hoping that someone would mention the skinny mixers because in 6.5 years of being a consultant, I have had so many people ask me about when are skinny mixers coming onto Cookidoo. So I'm going to add the chicken and then I'll do the drum roll, shall I? So about 500 grams of chicken. This recipe can be extended further. Oh no, I need to put my peas in too. Put them in last. Hang on. Did I? The peas. Yes. Putting my peas in. How good is this a stuff up when you're doing a Zoom? So what I would normally do is I would add the peas in before I have the chicken in. I'm not going to get the chicken out now. It's going to be a chunky curry. But what I would normally do is place my peas in and then whisk this up for about 40 seconds. I will send you the recipe exactly like I normally do it, and have this nice and thick curry going. How embarrassing! But this is what I like for you. I'm going to give this about 12 minutes. And because I've got the chicken in there now, I'm going to place this on reverse speed so that I'm not mushing up all my chicken. Alice Alexandria, yes, she's beautiful. My grandma's recipe books, fantastic. I think we've got a good recipe collection. So here it is. Some of you, if you've been checking your emails, will have received some emails this week from Thermomix with a few messages that are perhaps not quite as clear as what I'm going to share with you right now. I'm going to stop the share so that I can see you and see your faces. On the 16th of November, put that date in your diary. On the 16th of November, Thermomix is going to be releasing Cookidoo 3.0. What this means is that in the future, you will be able, are you ready for it? I'm so excited, I cannot contain myself. You'll be able to create your own recipes. You'll be able to import them into the recipe community, and you will be able to then personalize them and add them to your existing Cookidoo collections. This is something that when I first joined Thermomix was brought up, and it was said, yeah, that's in the future, in the next 10 years. So they've really worked hard to, to make this happen way before the 10-year mark. I'm really excited about this, and I'd love to hear from you how you feel this may change the way that you go about using your Thermomix. Feel free to unmute yourselves. Woohoo, super exciting. Yes, that's great. So if you are someone who does like to do their own thing, if you are someone who has got restriction because of health reasons, or you're cooking allergenic, non-allergenic foods, or you just have that grandmother's recipe, or all these recipe collections that you may want to be using in a guided mode, so that at the end, hi Christy, so that at the end of your day, when you're tired and when you don't want to think, you just have the convenience of going add next. That will be possible with your personal choice of recipes. In the future, the Cookidoo platform will also offer you, and it's not very far away, will also offer you to take notes. Anyone who used to be, who has been a customer for a long while, the TM5 Cookidoo platform, about 5 years ago, we had the option of notes. That was briefly taken away since the TM6 arrived, and it is coming back. So pretty much you can personalize every single recipe for yourself. How is this going to be available? Anybody who is an existing TM6 customer, anyone who is an existing Cookidoo customer, that includes everyone who is a TM31 and TM5 owner as well, you have the opportunity to trial this Cookidoo 3.0 for 4 months. This will be offered to you. After the 4 months are over, you can make a decision. You can either continue with Cookidoo 2.0, which is what we are all using now, if you're using Cookidoo, and that stays your $49 a year, or you can move to Cookidoo 3.0 and it will become $69 a year. Anyone who has purchased, will purchase a TM6 before the 16th of November will have the choice of using either Cookidoo 2.0 or Cookidoo 3.0. Any new customer after the 16th of November, meaning anyone who purchases a TM6 after the 16th of November, will automatically be given 3.0. And when you purchase a Thermomix first up, you get 6 months Thermomix Cookidoo subscription for free, and then it turns into a yearly subscription of $69. So considering what a massive door I feel is about to open up, the extra $20 a year is really peanuts, is really nothing. So if you have previously made use of the recipe community of skinny mixes of Thermomix, Alice Alexandria, or even you converted your own recipes, I would highly recommend you start pulling your recipes together and either have a go at writing your own recipes, or how about we put some personalized workshops together for each of you, where you can use a cooking experience, invite a couple of your friends, and we convert your recipes so that they can be uploaded onto the recipe community, so that when the 3.0 is actually physically available to you, you can then just transfer them onto your Cookidoo. How does that sound? I see a few. I'd love for at least someone to go off mute and go, yes! I am so excited because this is really, really something that I've been passionate about for a long time. So new customers will move straight on to the 3.0. And if you'd like to have a, if you're currently, who of you guys is not using Cookidoo at the moment? Anybody in the chat?
It's Michelle. I don't have Cookidoo.
Yes. How about you and I do a little one-on-one and I show you what it actually means?
Yeah, that would be great.
I know that your life with 4 children is really busy, and I have had a little conversation with you previously. I feel this would just be the bomb for you to reduce the time you spend even just getting organized for work.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. And maybe perhaps someone who has Cookidoo, tell us what you actually like about Cookidoo. Come on.
I'll go.
Yeah,
Can I go?
It's you. Yes.
I love Cookidoo. So I can do all of my recipe searching, find recipes depending on like what ingredients I have. We're on a farm, so if I have seasonal veggies in, I can just type in those veggies and get recipes that have those veggies in them, and plan like according to, you know, the days of the week. So when I need a quick meal, I can filter it to be a quick meal. When I want to do a longer one, I can have a longer one. I can meal plan in Cookidoo, and I can do a shopping list. So it makes my life with 3 little kids absolutely awesome. And then I have it all on the screen of my TM6. So I cannot wait to be able to do this with my other recipes and have everything all in one place, and all with guided cooking, because I hate cooking manually. With my little kids, I get distracted and I forget where I'm up to and all the rest of it. So having it all on the screen will just be an absolute lifesaver. It's going to mean I can try some of those recipes that I otherwise just don't bother to cook. So it's going to mean more use for me and more better food.
That's fantastic. I think I'm seeing a few nods. I think that just pretty much sums up what most people are thinking. And in the chat box, I'm seeing love Cookidoo, being able to use up things that are in the fridge. How good is that? So we're all talking about how our waste bins should be a bit smaller. Some of us practice this better than others. This is a real opportunity to ensure that with the rise in cost for food, particularly fresh foods, we use up what we've got. And
Colette,
yeah,
I've got older children compared to Joe. I've got 12 and 16, and I love Cookidoo because I set it all up and do the shopping, and then the kids can make dinner.
I love it. I love it. I so love this. Yes. A fantastic reason. And another thing that I love about Cookidoo is I am able to explore different countries' cuisines. Now, being in a fortunate position of speaking at least 2 languages rather sort of fluently, then I have set up and personalized my Cookidoo to those 2 languages and to the different countries' filters. So if anyone has pretty much missed the note from Thermomix or missed my note or a few months ago on how to personalize your preferences so that you can utilize not just the recipes that are offered to you on the Australian platform, please send me a message, and that's a 2-minute job, even less than that. I'll show you how to do that. It's really valuable to know how to extend on Cookidoo, because we are now at over about 73,000 recipes. And we've had a few new countries join over the last few months. And it's very, very exciting to be able to move into other cultures. I'm speaking to a lot of customers lately, and I don't know whether it's winter or whether it's just because of where we live. People love Asian food, and being able to produce your own Asian stuff without so much MSG in it is very, very valuable to customers, particularly who have a bit more of an interest in keeping their gut healthy. It smells really, really, really good. And when the cooking time is kept not so long, particularly with the chicken, and you have added the frozen peas, by the time your 12 minutes are up, your peas will not have shriveled up into nothing. You can place your food into a thermoserver like I've got here. Who has got a thermoserver? I should have all hands go up, yes? Is there anyone here who does not know what a thermoserver is? Did not have French salad dressing. Made it up on Cookidoo. That's fantastic. Very, very good. I have the oval one. Very good. Would you like one of these? I don't have one. Olivia, you need to earn yourself one. But your excuse is quite a good one, because you've only just recently received your Thermomix. So we will hopefully have your first cook and a cooking experience where you can earn yourself this. This is one of the host rewards that you can earn yourself, a 2.6 liter thermoserver. At least have one in your house. I've got all of them in my house. Use them every single day. Before the class started, of course, I prepared lunch, yes. Bit of rice. Bit of rice. This is a doubly insulated bowl that keeps your food hot or cold, and for up to 4 or 5 hours. So if, for instance, and this is very good for, Michelle, you probably have one, very good for people who have got a window of opportunity through the day to cook your dinner and leave it so that when you need dinner, it's ready. What did I just add? Some coconut cream. I'm going to give this another 3 minutes on reverse speed and soft, plainly to not shrivel up my chicken, and then I'll be ready to serve. In the meantime, one thing that I'd like to show you, some of you have seen some videos of mine, but I'd like to just show you in person. Thermomix is made by Vorwerk. Vorwerk has been around for many, many, many years. As you know, the Thermomix has been around for 50 years, but we've had it in Australia for 20 years. What is very, very exciting news is that Thermomix in Australia has gained the rights, not Gottfried's, but has gained the rights to bringing out other products, namely the Cobalt range from Vorwerk. One of these products is becoming or has become a host reward for this month. What I'd like to share with you is why I purchased mine in first place when I was overseas in Germany last, plainly because I was told these will never come to Australia. So this is a very quick whiz. Vacuum cleaner. You will see more videos for myself over the next few days on the socials. This I love so much because there is absolutely it's so easy to use and so easy to clean. There's no filters required to be purchased. There is one filter in here. When it's full, the machine will tell you it's light, and you can just clean it out and put it back together and start using it again. Since having had this, I even go and clean in my car. I go and clean anywhere where it's a little bit harder to get to in my house, and love this. This is going to be coming at a price of $299. Yes, there are cheaper ones out on the market, but none of them will work at the quality that this one will work. If you have a cook-up with friends, determine whether you want to learn something more about meal planning or recipe conversions, or plainly have a get together and show some people what you love about the Thermomix, or learn something. Have a cooking experience. It can be a virtual event still to keep yourself and your family safe. Have drinks while we do this 8 o'clock at night when everyone is sitting down. Put your feet up. You can earn yourself this for half the price at $149. Or if there is someone who will purchase as a result of your cooking experience, you will get this for $49, which makes it a $250 saving. If this is interesting for you, then jump on it. Of course, what is possible for you to share, I might put that into the email that I'm sending you to. The Thermomix comes with a gift with purchase this month, and one of them is a very valuable Meals in a Flash cookbook, which all the dishes that you find in here are very yummy. The feature one is probably one of the favorites. It's a sticky sesame chicken, and all the recipes can be made in under 40 minutes. The other one is a very highly sought after product, which you can't actually buy on the mix shop. It's the kitchen toolkit. Have them readily available, and I'm not going to go through what I like about it too much, but the peeler has been an absolute godsend for me over the last 7 years, and the knives are very, very sharp. Everything is stainless steel. This is all worth up to $170. Very, very beautiful gift with purchase. And I might just add to you that there is no other country in the world where you can purchase a Thermomix and you get a gift with your purchase or anything extra. People usually just buy the machine and don't get all the rest of the items that you can determine to fulfill your customer journey. So who is ready to see my curry? Makes a very decent amount. What I love about this is just so colorful. And particularly if you are making this for children, obviously you will make your curry paste a little bit milder, but you'll be able to put a coriander on top and some chili. 1 sec. Well, I'm not the master chef, but I am pretty happy. Hang on, turning my camera. I am pretty happy with what I've produced. So if you like to see the parts of your sauce, do it like I did by mistake. But if you like to have a smooth sauce and particularly offer food for your kids, where you just pump the sauce up with all sorts of variety of vegetables, whisk them up before you then add your chicken at the end. Does that make sense? Did you enjoy what I chose to demonstrate? it doesn't have to be a hard job. And I know that some of you are already very, very experienced in doing this, but I felt that this would be a very good forum to get some of you who needed to hear this started on recipe conversions. And of course, I also wanted to add that we are not officially allowed to share the news about 3.0 on social. So my idea was to have as many of you as possible on here so that I could share this with you. So now I'm hoping that you share this with your friends and families and consultants, and have a cooking experience, learn something new, get excited, and perhaps put a list of recipes together and let's meet up via Zoom. How does that sound? So a call to action. I've got some gifts that I will personally post to 3 people out of this crew who will book a cooking experience, get together, first cook, planning session, conversion session with me in the next 2 weeks. And you don't have to do it right here, right now. I will stop the recording. I would love for you to send me a message and book yourselves in. And also one other thing, share my page with your friends and perhaps invite your friends to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And yes, share the recipe love with all your friends. I thank you very much for coming this morning and would love your feedback on the session. Thank you, sounds good. Yay. So I know that I have invited some people from other areas who have different consultants. If you want to connect with your consultant, then they would really be very happy to hear from you. Are there any questions, any comments that you would like to make, either in the chat box or off mute? I'd love to hear. That's okay. Sometimes life gets in the way. I definitely stayed under an hour, so I'm fairly happy with that. Maybe could have taken 5 more minutes off in between, but this was important, I think. Did you feel that it was good to actually use a recipe to show you? Yeah, I will. My plan is over the next month to do some more of these sessions, and I'm either willing to use one of your recipes as the feature recipe to convert it, or another one of mine that I have previously converted and put onto the recipe community already. Yeah. So I'm really, really looking forward to hearing your feedback.
Thanks, Colette.
Because I have not run a session like this in this frame work before. Looking forward to version 3.0. Julie, I knew you would love this. Love to be more confident in converting recipes. Well, why don't we get together? This is going to be fantastic. That's awesome. If you want, I can share this recipe on my page. So before I might not get. Oh, okay, beautiful. You've written it. Okay. Well, I'm
like Colette.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. What I will do from here is I will send you all an email within the next couple of days when I get time. My daughter is coming out of hospital on Monday, and I am very busy cleaning the house and getting it ready for her. So it might not be in the next 24 hours, but within the next 2 to 3 days, you will hear from me with the recipe picture, with the conversion, with the cheat sheet, notes for you. And what I would like for you to do is 2 things. A, find some recipes that you would really love to use with your Thermomix. And B, think about 2 people who you feel would benefit from seeing this too. And then 3, make a date with me. Yeah. And one other thing I need to do. Opportunity for those who are off camera to come on camera. Otherwise, I'd really like to have a smile from you all. Vicky, look into the camera. Thank you very much, Sandy. Lindsay, come on, Belinda, Karen, Anne, Michelle, Courtney, Kelly, Nikki, Julie. They're coming, I'm waiting. Oh, fantastic. Thanks so much. Yes, would love for you to share feedback, even on the pages, so that other people become aware of this too. You will understand that as consultants, we're not allowed to share from ourselves. We know that overseas it's been shared already. However, we can't control that. But if you like to share with your friends, then that's okay with me. I'm going to stop the recording, and thanks so much for coming, everybody.